It is the eve of battle, and this is a WrestleMania stat show special on the Daily Wrestling News Show.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
This is the Daily Wrestling News for April 9th, 2021, and we are powered by the Eastern Observer. My name's Ryan Joy, and I am coming to you from Minutes to Bell Time Studios on the beautiful Treasure Coast of the Sunshine State. And I'm joined today by the man who has put all these stats together for us, Pro Wrestling Pick'ems, Karl. Al, welcome to the show.
I am happy to be here. I'm happy to get a little nerdy number crazy with you. There was a couple years ago. Won't get into the details. I had some time on my hands, and I did some numbers, and I was just adding to them, and I figured instead of just clogging all this in with our WrestleMania special tomorrow at 12 noon. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we changed from 3 o'clock to 12 noon due to Impact getting extremely ballsy. Yeah, there it is right there. So we're gonna do them now. We're gonna do them the day before. Get excited. And just a couple things, you're going to see, the streaks each way. You're going to see a couple things, but the bottom line for all this is just, it really goes to show you a lot of people shoot off the Undertaker streak, and this, that, and the other. This will hopefully give you a new light on just exactly what the Undertaker has accomplished at WrestleMania. He is just, he's Wayne Gretzky wrestling. For those who know hockey, Wayne Gretzky's stats, most of them, a healthy majority of them, are never going to be touched. And the Undertaker is going to be the same way with WrestleMania. And you say we have a lot to go through, Rye. So let's just let's get right into it. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Well, I'm going to ring the bell, and I'm going to put you in the hot seat for a quick second as soon as after the bell. I got a couple of questions for you before we get into it. So
sure.
Here we go. Ring the bell. And ladies and gentlemen, Al is from Pro Wrestling Pick'em. Pro Wrestling Pick'em, it's a place where you can create a Pick'em league and play against your friends, predict and everything. Al, the new season is starting. The new season starts Monday.
Yes.
So
get excited. We're coming in hot right away. I'm sure there'll be an Impact show. Actually, no, there won't be. We're going to come in hot right with Rebellion with Impact. So now that since we've been doing the podcast, some things here and there. I know John Smith hates our scoring systems, and we'll put him aside there. But there are some tweaks I made to put, because the emphasis is on the shows and the importance of the shows as long as title matches. So I retweaked the scoring system that will go into effect for the 2021-22 season. It starts the day after WrestleMania. For us, for the Essential Wrestling Podcast, we are going to be crowning our overall EWP champion. We're going to in Impact, NXT, WWE, AEW. So we have a small show that aired yesterday. This is obviously taped ahead of time. I don't know if right now there was only 2 matches. I don't know if they're going to announce anything more. Maybe Kaylee Ray, she'll defend the title. She kind of had a little run-in with Isla Dawn. But it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of bragging rights on the line. Definitely join in now. You're exactly right, Ryan. Join in now. Get used to how to play. You can join us in the Essential Wrestling Podcast pool. We're going to be going forward with a new open pool. We're all starting at 0. Or you can, start a pool with your friends. Leave us completely out of it. I've run a pool for about 5 years now. I got about 25 to 30 friends in it. So it's a lot of fun, and it helps you pay attention to matches you normally don't. Like all of a sudden you catch yourself rooting for Baron Corbin when you normally wouldn't,
Well, that'll never happen.
Right.
But here's again, ProWrestlingPick'em.com. I'm sorry to hit people with a commercial type thing in the beginning of the show, but really this is how we built the whole Essential Wrestling Podcast is sort of built around picking and picking the matches and stuff. And wanted to make sure people know that the season turns over, and if you had been watching the show and thinking, oh, I'd like to get in, but Karl, and Ryan, they've got a 500-point lead on me right now. Well, the new season starts April 12th, so get in there.
Yeah, come on in. We'd love to have you.
So, Al, I wanted to ask before we get into all the stats, what match between you got Takeover, a bunch of matches, we got WrestleMania, a bunch of matches. What is the one match that you're like most jazzed about?
Ooh, that's a loaded question because, like I said, I've been doing a lot of research on Takeover lately. I just think Jordan and Santos are just going to absolutely shine.
Right.
I know the match has already happened. By the time this is aired, I'm hoping I'm right. But you throw two belts in the air, those two guys on a ladder, I think they're going to absolutely shine. With WrestleMania as of right now, yeah, Bobby and Drew, there's such high expectations for them. Like everyone has wanted Bobby. Drew's, our hero chasing, he deserved to be there. But everyone's wanted Bobby. I want to see if Bobby can get this done. Like, I am not sold completely that McIntyre is going to win that match.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't want to steal too much thunder from tomorrow's WrestleMania show, but do you think this is going to be a 4-minute match or a 20-minute match? You tip.
I'll go between 10 and 15. I don't.
Okay.
They can go 20. They know each other very well. Let's just put what they did. I believe they fought at was it Money in the Bank? Not Money in the Bank. That was Raw. They fought over the summer. Maybe it was at the Bleep show at Extreme Rules or something. And that was okay. But they main evented Slammiversary. I think they fought for the Impact TNA Championship in an amazing match. So it's not that they don't know each other. It's not that they can't do it. They should. I would hope give the fans their money's worth, especially after last year's WrestleMania when both world title matches combined for 6 minutes.
That's right. That's right. I think we're going to get some length to our matches this year.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, good enough. That is just the one question I had for you before we got into everything. And we're going to get into the stats now. And we have a long list. There's 12, 15 stats here that we need to get into. So, Al, I want to kick it off with which state has the most WrestleManias?
Yeah, this is a fun little trivia question. I don't think too many people would guess. I mean, I think I asked you, Ryan. You were close, but
yeah, let me bring it up here. And California, like I still put it up now, and I'm like, really? California has the most?
Yeah, well, they had WrestleMania. I can't remember. I don't have the list off the top of my head. WrestleMania 7. They had. They're actually going to say, as you see the asterisks right there, they're going to be getting another one, so that's going to go up to 7. Florida's in second with 5, and I'm counting the shows this weekend. It's officially booked. We'll leave it at 5. And then as down at the bottom, Texas is going to break that tie with Illinois because Big D Stadium, Dallas Cowboys Stadium, AT&T, I believe is right. That's the sponsor, right? They're going to get WrestleMania 38. So they're going to get bumped up to 4. I know the conversation we had when I brought this up is that, MetLife is New York and New Jersey. No, it's a Jersey stadium. No, we get Jersey. You got the two MetLife stadiums at 35 and 29, and then Trump Plaza down in AC, they had 4 and 5, so that's where Jersey came in on that.
So the New York metro area has 6, if you include that way. So they'd be kind of tied, but
yeah,
but still, but yeah, we said state, not metropolitan area. So
yeah, they had a Takeover was in New York. They got Takeover at Barclays, so.
Yeah, and I guess the other question is most WrestleMania. So you're not considering Florida getting 2 with WrestleMania 37. It's 1 WrestleMania, right? Even though it's 2 shows. Yeah,
that's it. That is correct, and that's how we're scoring it on the system. Last year I kind of had they didn't announce what matches were on what nights, so I kind of had to throw it all together. And I'm doing the same thing this year. It's one big event. If it was separated weeks like the weekly shows that AEW and NXT do. I would separate them, but they're back-to-back nights. There's a lot of points on the line. So
it's back-to-back. It's also we're taping this in advance, but I'm not sure that we're going to know every match which night it's on. So
yeah, that's fair.
Yep. So that's the states. A little bit of controversy in there with the New York, New Jersey stuff, but the state line is the state line. So. Now let's move into which WrestleMania had the largest live attendance. Of course, everybody always talks about Pontiac, Michigan, WrestleMania 3. I even got my Hulk Hogan shirt on, and I've got the Enforcer, Andre the Giant, standing next to me that you can't see. But
John Smith's there?
What'd you say?
John Smith's there?
No, it's an Andre the Giant fathead.
Wow, it's got to be a big fathead.
Yeah. So here it is, the most attended. You talked about Texas a few seconds ago, actually.
Yeah, there's the AT&T Stadium. They're going to go back there for WrestleMania 38. They piled in 101,000, which beat out the Silverdome. They said that record stood for what? Do the math here. This should be pretty simple. 29 years. So that was absolutely crazy. What they did back in 1987 at the Silverdome, and then Jersey Strong right there. WrestleMania's 35 and 29. They came in hot, over 80,000. Detroit again. So even Michigan. Before there was after the Silverdome, it was Ford Field for WrestleMania 23. So those seem to be the hotbeds of professional wrestling, and you can only imagine what they're going to do at SoFi next year, and then back at AT&T Stadium the year prior. So it looks like they're going to bump some numbers. But these are the only 5 here, Ryan, that had over 80,000. And then, the unfortunate thing is, down on the bottom of the list, I had to be a wise guy here. And it's just like, you want to play the Price is Right thing, What's
funny is I was at WrestleMania 23, number 5 on this list. Unfortunately, not at WrestleMania 36, even though it's pretty close to where I live now.
Yeah. Yeah. Then, it's, you can take shots at Drew McIntyre and Braun. They can't sell out. They can't sell out. Drew McIntyre is probably the worst, drawing champion in the history of the company.
Well, that's a fact.
It's unfortunate.
That's circumstances beyond his control.
Yeah, it's only fair. No, I have all the respect in the world for Drew. He worked his ass off as champion.
Well, so the interesting thing is, let me bring this back up. It kind of speaks to markets as well, right? Like, actually, this one, the most by state, that is the one that really speaks to markets. WWE is going to look to put a market where they can put the most amount of fans in there. Again, California just really surprises me that they went there so many times, but Florida and that New York, New Jersey area, big markets for WrestleMania, and then. You can see here, Michigan, though, that's where they put the most people in.
Yeah. So I guess every 20 years they go back there, right? So WrestleMania 43, you gotta assume it'll be back at Ford Field, or that building's pretty updated. I know it's a lot older now, but no reason why to knock down Ford Field to build a new one.
No, I don't think so. Okay, so let's get into wrestler-specific stats now.
There we go.
And you talked about The Undertaker, so he's probably going to own a lot of these, right?
Yeah, and he's going to own a lot of the big categories. So I'm assuming I'm not looking at your list here, Ryan. I know you're driving the car of the graphics, but I'm assuming he's going to be on the top of the first couple ones that are coming up here.
Most appearances. There's some people that are close though.
Yeah, Triple H was up there. Triple H as the mainstay as he is, and he said he was there. He missed 1 year, and we'll get to that in the next graphic. He was there from WrestleMania 12 all the way through last year at 35, with the exception of the Ford Field one where he was injured and he didn't compete at WrestleMania 23. So he's a lifer. Michaels took off the 4 years. So if you add the 4 years that Michael was off, 15, 16, 17, 18, that puts him at over 20. Kane, recent Hall of Famer induction. Randy's still active. As you can see, I bold and color-coded the wrestlers that are active. I know Brock Lesnar probably won't be on the card, but then you got new guy, Kofi, Ray's got a longevity, Jericho, Brett, and this is a fun list to see who's actually been in the most. And then he said the guy that led the charge in the very beginning, Hulk Hogan, he went WrestleManias 1 through 9 straight, and then there was WrestleMania 18 was the one he did, 18 and 19, so that shocks him up.
Yeah, Hogan headlined the first 8 WrestleManias, and then the 9th WrestleMania unannounced headline.
Yeah.
Too. So
Hogan must pose.
Hogan must pose. The interesting thing here, so Randy Orton is the closest active guy to it. His style and such, he can wrestle he's going to probably wrestle for a long time yet to come. Do we think there's any chance he's got 12 more WrestleManias in the tank, though?
Yeah.
That's such a feat.
Well, he needs 10 to tie. Because when he goes to battle this weekend with Bray, that'll put him at 17, which ties him for 3rd all time. But then he said he's got the 20-year career of Randy Orton. Randy really didn't miss WrestleMania. I know a couple injury He was supposed to start at 19, but he got injured, and he didn't start till 20. But it's like, just what did the Undertaker did? 27, and he missed a couple too. He missed WrestleMania 2000. He was injured, and then he missed was the 35, the last one at MetLife before he came back for his last match at Boneyard.
Did he have a match at 10?
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't fight at 10 either. Yeah, so there's two right. There's three right there. He could have been 30.
Yeah, but the other thing, let me bring this most appearances back up. Some of these guys are really interesting when you look at them, like Bret Hart, for instance, and Shawn Michaels. Those are guys that their first WrestleMania, they would have been in a tag match, and they would have been in the tag division for the Rockers and for the Hart Foundation. Yep. And those are two guys that wrestled. Bret Hart was in, I think it was WrestleMania 8. He won the Intercontinental Championship. Shawn Michaels was defending the Intercontinental Championship at 9. And then eventually they worked their way into the World Championship picture. So there's some people that you can look at the list and they had a career that grew over the course of their WrestleMania career, I guess. The Undertaker, he's always been on top. So yeah, that's the one thing. He wasn't always the main event, right? Like Snuka and Jake Roberts weren't main events, but he was always been, top of card type of. Yeah. Jake wasn't. That wasn't a main event. That was a big feud though for 1992. Jake and Taker was a big deal back at WrestleMania 8. Yeah. And then then you backtrack with the Giant Gonzalez, but then Bundy. Yeah, it's just you can throw John Cena on that list too. He was supposed to debut at 19. It wasn't supposed to be in a match, but he was supposed to have a rap battle with somebody. I can't remember who it was. And then he came out, the Dr. Thugonomics. He curtain jerked WrestleMania 20, won the United States Championship, and then just caught fire for God knows how many years. So yeah, you saw John Cena grow up. Yeah, that's good point. Good point. Matt Hardy and Chris Jericho here working for another company at this point, but they're still on the list. That's pretty. I think if people were to look at this, they probably would have assumed that Jeff was on the list, not Matt. Jeff has had a couple times where Jeff left or Jeff got in trouble. I know you guys. You did the WrestleMania 24 with Travis. Yep. You didn't bring this up. Jeff Hardy was supposed to be in that match. If you notice, there was an odd number of people. That was 7, right? There were 7 people in that match. Jeff Hardy got in trouble, let's say about a week and a half before WrestleMania, and he had to drop the Intercontinental Championship to Jericho. That's why he randomly walked down the aisle with that belt out of nowhere. And I honestly want to say that Jeff Hardy was supposed to win Money in the Bank that year. I think CM Punk was just a knee-jerk reaction to a bad situation. Well, right place, right time. Exactly. Yeah, Heyman finally got his way back then. So most consecutive or most appearances. Now let's move into most consecutive appearances, and we already talked about some breaks that the Undertaker took, with 10 and the other ones. But there is still, and we know he skipped WrestleManias and yet still has an 18 WrestleMania streak. Incredible. Yeah, and it's there's no one even close right now. Unfortunately, all these streaks have stopped. Yes. Randy Orton was not at WrestleMania. Him and John Cena both missed. They were together from WrestleManias 20 through 31. They both missed WrestleMania 32, if my memory serves me correct. Because 33, then Randy beat Bray Wyatt at 33. So they both missed WrestleMania. So that stopped that streak. Triple H, he got stopped at WrestleMania 35. He was if he fought, 36. Right, last year. Yeah, it was last year. He was the only active guy, and I think Hunter's done because he's not even in talks with WrestleMania 37 or anything going forward. So it just looks like Hunter's done. Yeah, but nobody's even remotely close to an active streak right now. So those stats are going to stand for a long time. Yeah, and let's see, the bottom one is 12. So yeah, if nobody's in the conversation, they got some years to put in. Yeah, Hogan had 9. He came close. He's probably the next one. Hogan at 9 and Tito at 8. Yeah. Like everybody else, injuries suck nowadays. Something happens. It's. All right. Well, we continue to look at singles stats. We have the most singles wins, and who's at the top of the list again? And this one is not close. Nope.
This is most wins in singles competition. Undertaker never had a tag team match. He was supposed to at 19 and ended up turning into a handicap match. But yeah, it's not even close. He's 15 more wins in singles competition ahead of Triple H with 10 and John Cena with 9. Like Hulk Hogan's, it's amazing the numbers he puts up, and that's going to be the theme for the next couple of ones. Like that's unbelievable.
Well, what's interesting is like if Triple H had the streak behind him as well, if he had never lost, he still wouldn't have the number of wins that the Undertaker had.
Yeah, he's at 22. Yeah, he's been to 22. Unbelievable.
The other thing is that when you look at this list, the most wins, Undertaker with a 25-2, and Triple H doesn't have a winning record. Cena does have a winning record. Hogan has a winning record. Savage has a winning record. The Rock has a winning record.
Yep. Austin
and Edge do. And then after that, it's 500 or bust for those guys.
Yep.
So
yeah, like I said, so Edge and Randy, they got matches coming up. They have singles matches too. Edge is going to compete against Roman Reigns. Presumably, maybe Daniel Bryan. We'll find that out. This is taped ahead of time. And then Randy's got Bray, so they're both looking to tie the Rock here for 6th all time if they get wins. Brock Lesnar, like I said, he's on the list, but he's got the year off, it looks like.
So if Edge wins, he keeps his winning record. If he loses, he has a 500 record
in singles competition. So correct. Like I said, he's got a couple tag team wins where Christian carried him for to the tag team championship. So he doesn't have a losing record overall, and we'll find that out, I guess, in the next or I guess in 2 graphics. They're probably going to do team competition next.
Yeah, team competition next. Most wins, WWE Hall of Famer Kane on top.
Yeah, who would have thought that, right? Like Kane is the winningest team competitor in WrestleMania history, and he was 4-0. His last team match was at WrestleMania 30, where him and the Outlaws got smoked by the Shield in about a minute. So before that, Kane, you pair Kane up with anybody at WrestleMania, he wins.
Now, so the LOD 3-0, Demolition, Axe at 3-0, Demolition Smash 3-2.
Yeah,
man, because so we're talking about Barry Darso there, not one character versus the other, but maybe you know this off the top of your head, maybe you don't. Was Demolition 3-0, or was it Smash and Crush had a match?
They lost at WrestleMania 7 to Tenryu and Katayo, so that's why I kind of had to separate them, because Smash technically 3-1, Repo technically 0-1. He lost. There was an 8-man tag. There goes WrestleMania 8 ripping off AEW. They had an 8-man tag that Repo Man lost.
Right.
He was teaming with the Mountie and the Nasty Boys. They lost to like Duggan, Slaughter, and friends.
Pat Sajak announced was the ring announcer.
Ray Combs.
Ray Combs. Yeah, Ray Combs. Sorry, my bad.
Family Feud.
I had the right talk show in my head.
No, you didn't, because Sajak's the Wheel of Fortune. You were close, but
yeah. So again, Demolition OG undefeated 3-0 with Legion of Doom, but
yes.
When you look at the individual guys, not quite as good. Davey Boy Smith's a nice name to see on the list. WWE Hall of Famer this year.
Yeah.
Last year.
He had a couple matches with Dynamite early, and then he had the one match with Lex Luger at 11. They got the win on that one, and then the draw with Owen Hart. Owen Hart's undefeated, so when he teamed with Owen, they didn't lose, except with they had the double count out at 13. But yeah, that's
now Hart Foundation. Who'd they take the L to? Do you remember?
Nasty Boys, WrestleMania 7.
Oh, there you go. Yep. Okay.
Dude, that was so backwards. We didn't do anything about wrestling. I need to get this off my chest. So it should have been Power and Glory. Like I think Paul Roman might have been hurt and they switched it. But I'm sitting there, I'm like, how do you not give the belt to Power and Glory? And it would have been nicer to have the Legion of Doom squash the Nasty Boys in about 5 seconds, and then have a nice SummerSlam match with the Legion of Doom and Power and Glory. So the whole thing was to get the belts off of the Hearts, so that Brett can go on to bigger and greater things, and then get the belts on the Legion of Doom. So the Nasty Boys we should have used Power and Glory though. Oh, they were so good.
I loved that move, the suplex splash move. That's great.
Oh yeah, the Powerplex. It's being used a lot nowadays too. I actually haven't seen it in a while, but it has been. The Street Profits should have kept it as their finisher.
Yeah, and you see FTR use it a bit, and it's
Yep.
So yeah, it's a tribute. It's a tribute because
yes, it is.
You know,
Not that many people would tribute, Hercules and Paul Roma, but like this
no.
is real, yeah.
All right, so Al, I'm gonna let you do the intro on this one.
All right, so in a magazine that I required, I believe it was around WrestleMania 18 or so, 19, whatever it was. I was reading an article, and they interviewed Ric Flair, and he had this quote, and it just stuck out to me. The greatest honor a wrestler can have is to walk the aisle at WrestleMania as champion. So here is the list of every wrestler that has ever walked the aisle at WrestleMania as world champion, whether it be WWF, WWE, world champion, universal champion. These are the guys that have done it. Some guys more often. This is actually in order of appearance. This isn't in any type of ranking order. But Hogan, he did the first couple ones. Savage at 5, Slaughter, Flair, Brett. The list goes. This is just the who's who of professional wrestling. The Miz is on that list. I know that probably chaps a lot of people, but yes, he walked the aisle. Not only that he walked the aisle, he defended the WWE Championship. Randy's done it a couple of times. AJ Styles was the last one to do it. And then this year we're getting 2 more. Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns, they're scheduled to do this, so you're going to add them to this list. So that's going to be a nice honor. That Roman, he's been in he's main evented, I think 4 in a row, but he was never the champion. He always chased. And that's the same thing with Stone Cold Steve Austin. If you look at this list, Stone Cold is not on it. He always chased.
Now so the point that you're making right now is that this is the list of people who walked the aisle into WrestleMania as champion. Many of these names that you're talking about, Steve Austin and whatnot, walked out of WrestleMania as champion.
Yep.
But didn't walk the aisle, with their with their t-shirts and robes on and stuff like that. So this is also WWF champion, WWE champion, World Heavyweight champion, Universal champion, WWE champion. We're not talking Intercontinental and all that stuff with the lower belts. This is the world title level, and it doesn't include ECW. Sorry.
Now,
Chavo.
unfortunately, Chavito got left off, but Chavo has the honor of being the only wrestler to walk the aisle in an ECW championship match. Now, Bobby Lashley walked the aisle as ECW champion at WrestleMania 23, but it was not a title match when he fought Umaga in the hair versus hair billionaire battle of the billionaires match.
Yeah. Poor Chavo. He didn't, he walked the aisle with that belt, but he didn't walk back.
No, it didn't take long to get that belt off him either. He didn't really have too tight of a grip on it.
No. Kane beat him in about 3 seconds. So congratulations, Kane. WWE Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. I love it.
All right. So championship matches. Now here's where you can get credit for either walking as a challenger or as a champion.
Yeah, this is a championship match, whether a champion or challenger. John Cena. This is pretty crazy. I guess if you think about it, he's always involved in the title. Like I said, he walked in and out. He had about 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever it is consecutive championship matches. Like he's always in the world title picture. And then you bookend it at WrestleMania 20 and WrestleMania 31 with United States Championship matches. So yeah, he leads the way with 10. That's more than Hulk Hogan, who had 7. Hogan had 2 in 1 year. And he's still not going to catch Cena. Triple H, he's got the same amount as John Cena, but he doesn't have the best record. But John Cena is the winningest wrestler in championship match history. There's your 3-0 with Demolition right there. It's funny how you shoot off the Undertaker with the 18 consecutive WrestleManias, 21 consecutive wins, 20 whatever. I already forgot how many he's appeared in, 27 whatever. He's only fought in 3 championship matches. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Sid, Batista, and Edge. He walked in as challenger, walked out as champion. So, and then you got the list there on the bottom. I don't think any of those guys. Ray might be challenging. The Miz will not. That's not a championship match with Bunny. Randy's not a championship match. Strowman, I believe that's not. Well, he's got Shane. That's not going to be a championship match. So Ray, he's going to be added to the list. He's going to look to tie. Being that whole mess of people tied for 5th with 3 wins in championship match history.
Yeah, and again, we talk about Edge, who could get a winning championship record here, or he could solidify a losing record here.
Yeah, like I said, a win from him. Like I said, Daniel Bryan. Like I said, we'll find out. Technically, this is the Friday before we're airing it, so we're gonna find out hopefully tonight if Daniel Bryan's in the match. So Daniel Bryan might be jumped up on here. Charlotte Flair looks like she's out. It's the first time we're gonna see women on these lists, but Charlotte Flair's been kicking ass and taking names the past 5 WrestleManias. So she's been doing well. I said Lesnar's probably got the year off. So and then Rollins is not he's probably gonna get Cesaro. That won't be a championship match. So yeah, it just looks like Daniel Bryan, Edge, and Rey Mysterio will be the ones that can put their names up on the threshold here.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's look at the title defenses. So most championships defended. This is also obviously it includes the lower level belts as well.
This includes everything. Yeah. So, and this is I've mentioned this on numerous occasions. This is the match or the stat that it's been a couple attempts by the Miz to break this holy hell of a tie here at 2, to jump up and be second all time, chasing only Triple H. The Intercontinental Championship match at 34, he came up short. And then last year, he showed up sick. He got booted out of the match that they probably would have won. Morrison ended up winning the match, and that would have been his 3rd title defense. So absolutely crazy. The Miz can't just get that one more. Yeah, John Cena, he's only done it twice in the WrestleManias 22 and 23.
These are
Money Inc. They did it 2 years in a row at 8 and 9. Hulk Hogan's only done it twice at 2 and 3. He did it early, and he hasn't defended the title since WrestleMania 3. Well, he's been chasing. I know WrestleMania 6 he walked in, but that didn't work out so well for him. But yeah, Triple H, WrestleMania 14, he defended the European title against Owen Hart, and then the world title wins at 2000 at 19 and 25. That separates him from the pack.
Oh, there you go. Your guy Triple H on top.
That's it. All he does is bury people, right?
Well, you're not doing yourself any favors with this stat.
No, I'm not. But then when you throw up the most losses in history, I think that's my answer. So
there you go. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But here's the most title wins, and John Cena. That's the name that you've been talking about a lot.
Yeah, he's the biggest chaser. He said he's had 10 championship matches. Like I said, he chased a lot. I know he defended 2 years in a row at 22 and 23, but then he chased the rest of the way and he won. So these are the guys that have walked in as challengers and walked out as champion. So it's a very short list. Hulk Hogan, did it a couple times. Seth Rollins, he's got the highest active streak. Look at Christian. I love how Christian made this list. They won the 2 years in a row that him and Edge won the tag team championships. That's 2 of them. But when he slammed the top part of that door in Molly Holly's face at 18 and won the Hardcore Championship, that put him ahead of everybody else and added him to a Hall of Fame list right there. So good job, Christian, even though he lost it about an hour later. But then you got guys going right now. If you look on the bottom, I'm sorry, if you throw that back up, guys going on the bottom, said Edge and Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio. Those are the 3s you got to look for. They will all either are challenging or most likely will be challenging for a championship coming up. So they can join this illustrious Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Seth Rollins, and Christian with 3.
Now, does Seth Rollins include his cash-in, the heist?
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
Well, I guess that's championship one. It's not
champion. Hey, he was a challenger and he became champion.
I wasn't sure if it was advertised challengers that won, but
no.
Yeah. So
then Christian wouldn't be on that list.
Right. Most losses.
There it is.
Oh wait, actually, before we move on, let's just say for an example, R-Truth loses and wins the 24/7 championship 5, 6, 7 times over the course of WrestleMania 37.
I would love it.
If it's 7 times, is he at the top of this list?
100%. 100%. Of course, I would be honored to put R-Truth on the top of this list for the 24/7 championship.
All right. I just wanted to clarify the stat mechanism. It's not like,
well, if I'm going to do that with the hardcore title at 18 and give Christian an extra one, I'm not going to take that away from R-Truth. It's a title. That's it.
Yep. Okay. So most losses. I guess R-Truth would find himself on this list too if he did that.
Yeah, and R-Truth, they say we'll bring him up on the next list. Yeah, but R-Truth, he's got 6 right now. Shelton Benjamin, he looks like he's off the card. Sheamus was 6 as well. But yeah, these are the guys. There's Triple H's shovel right there for you. 13 losses, most in WrestleMania history, ahead of Big Show and ahead of Mr. WrestleMania himself, Shawn Michaels. Not sure how he got that name with all those losses, but I guess it's the performance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Randy Orton, he's stuck at 10, even though he was on the most wins list. He's also on the most losses list. Jericho, not good. Kane, again, he said Kane's littered all over this. And there's Tito with 7. He, if you were to start WrestleMania, Tito actually started. He won the first ever match against the Execution on WrestleMania 1. And if you were just stopped WrestleMania right there, he would be the all-time winningest wrestler in WrestleMania history with 1 win, and nobody else has any. And then he decided to rattle off 7 straight, and we'll get to him more in a second. The record I am so proud of that he is from my hometown, and I'm not from Tacoma, but he moved to Jersey. And then you got Dolph Ziggler. He's probably going to be defending the tag team championship. Kofi's got the match, so he can advance on this. This is not the list you really want to advance in, but Kofi just hasn't had a lot of luck at WrestleMania. Neither, Dolph Ziggler, he just can't freaking buy a bucket, I guess is the phrase, right?
It's here. I'm not picking him in Pro Wrestling Pick'em.
Yeah. I was so hell-bent because of this. I was so hell-bent that he was going to beat Otis last year. I was just, I would have put a lot of money on that, and I would have lost it all.
All right. Well, so R-Truth, Shelton Benjamin, Sheamus all have their opportunity to make this list. And R-Truth, I think, has the best opportunity if they do the 24/7 championship a few times. So
yeah, I just gotta hope he's going and chasing, because Ryan, if you throw up the next graphic, I think you're gonna throw up the consecutive loss streak, and that's where Tito's all alone at 7. That record has been held since WrestleMania 8, his last match at WrestleMania. The opening contest, he lost to a newly turned heel Shawn Michaels, and that was WrestleManias 2 through 7. He's lost consecutive, and no one's touched it since. And now we're right there. Jeff Hardy got close. But when him and Matt came back at WrestleMania 33, they got the win there, so that stopped his streak. But Truth and Shelton Benjamin, Truth hasn't won. We just saw that. Shelton Benjamin, he just did the same thing Tito did. He started out with a win with Charlie Haas at WrestleMania 19, and then it's just been downhill ever since. And I wouldn't say it's downhill because he's shined. He's walked the aisle numerous occasions as Intercontinental Champion, but he's in these Money in the Bank ladder matches where his job is to perform and not win. So, you kind of want to give Shelton a little bit of a pass on this.
Right. But yeah, Jericho's on the list. It's a good thing he probably is done with WWE. Otherwise, he might advance on this list as well.
Well, no, his streak is over. Like, he doesn't have asterisks next to his name, so his streak is currently over. So I did believe he won at, I can't remember what match broke the streak. He beat AJ Styles at 32.
Got it. Well, so in that regard, though, if Tito Santana came back and wrestled a match and lost, his streak would advance, right?
Exactly. His streak is technically still active, so we're going forward with that.
All right. Well, let's get the matchmakers on the phone.
Exactly. Just put him in a battle royal. Give me a battle royal. Let him get out of there.
So before I throw those next 2 up, I guess We've talked through all of the stats, but you have a couple specific to women's stats. Now, women were involved in the first WrestleMania, but they had really light involvement after that up until somewhat in the modern era, I would say.
Yes.
So it makes sense that you did some women specific stats. So let's take a look at those. Now, before I do though, they were actually included in all the previous stats too.
Yeah, like I said, you saw Charlotte Flair's name in there and championship match history, and Bayley was on the titles defending list. Bayley defended last year at 36, and she defended at WrestleMania 33. She defended in Raw. So yeah, the women were not, like, I wasn't just trying to be gender specific here, but there's the fact that when you look at this first list coming up, the most appearances by women in history, it's 5. So it's and
that won't stand, right? Like, because we move forward, probably the next 10 years or so, that'll be completely changed.
Yes.
But as of right now, that's the situation that we're in. So we have the graphic here for most women's appearances. Trish Stratus and Beth Phoenix at the top.
Yeah, Beth Phoenix snuck in that tag team title match to tie WrestleMania 35 to tie Trish Stratus. And then Trish was at a couple other ones. She didn't wrestle in a match. Like at WrestleMania 20, she was at ringside for the. Oh, I love that match. And then she accompanied TNA at WrestleMania 2000, and so it's this is it. This is the women in history. And then I get to see they have the the four horsewomen there. Charlotte, she's been at 5 in a row. Looks like that's going to get snapped this year, unfortunately. Sasha Banks is going to get her 5th this year. Becky Lynch, it doesn't look like she's going to be a part of it unless she comes back last minute. Bayley, don't know what they're going to do with her this year. Nia Jax might get her 4th. Natalia might get her 5th. She might tie Trish, Beth, and Charlotte. So it's funny. It's kind of almost like the Royal Rumble stacks, where it's just the beginning of everything. It's just fun to watch these numbers progress year by year.
Al, these include pre-show?
No,
they do not.
They do not.
Okay, so
yeah,
like last year.
Yeah, that's why Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch aren't at 5 with Charlotte. They were in the first women's battle royal, and unfortunately, that was on the pre-show.
Right, and Natalia too. She would have been at 5, right? Because she had Liv Morgan last year, and
Bayley would have been at 4. Bayley missed that first WrestleMania 32, so that's why she was always she's one behind Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha. She defended the NXT Women's Championship. I believe that was when she lost to Asuka that WrestleMania weekend. So she was shining in her own right, just not on the main roster.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. And then the most women's wins is okay. There's 3 people tied at 3, but when we go to win percentage, an unlikely candidate rises to the top.
Sable, yeah. How about that? Like Sable, she wasn't even on the prior list, but she showed up 3 times and she won all 3. She was in the mixed tag team match at 14. Her and Mark Mabel defeated Mark Marrow defeated Luna Vachon and the artist formerly known as Goldust. Then at WrestleMania 15, she had a one-on-one match. She had a women's successful WWF Women's Championship match, a successful title defense over Tori, not Tori Wilson, but the other Tori. I don't like calling her, but she doesn't have a last name, but it's still different. And then at WrestleMania 20 with Tori Wilson, with that Tori, they won the Playboy Evening Gown match against Jackie Gata and Stacy Keibler. So, three appearances by Sable, 3 wins.
We haven't seen Sable in such a long time, but she's still kind of through her modern day husband Brock Lesnar. So there's always a chance. There's always a chance.
She is connected, and like I said, I know a lot of people probably won't watch this. I actually watched the top 50 women's all-time wrestlers. Sable finished. She's in the top 15. So Sable, when she was there, she was the pinnacle of the Attitude Era. She did her job. Her, China, like they were the big stars for Raw back then, for WWE.
Yeah, and I don't want to skip over Charlotte and Trish Stratus, but Chyna's on the list too, 2-0.
Yeah, Chyna, she got the win over Ivory at 17, and I believe at 16 she teamed up with. Oh my God, it was I forget.
It's okay. You're not required to remember every WrestleMania.
Yeah, I know, but this is my jam, so I can't remember. But she wasn't at 18. She wasn't. No, she beat Ivory. I know that. I know she was at 16. I want to say she was with Rikishi and Scott Taylor. They won a 6. I don't remember.
Yeah, so it looks to me, just looking at the numbers, it looks to me like Charlotte has the lead here, and she will probably have it for the next couple of years.
Yeah, Charlotte should be the Undertaker, and like I said, this is going to be the shot at Charlotte. Oh my God, all she does is it's just going to be like, I wouldn't say like Triple H, but it's just like, oh my God, we're tired of Charlotte, we're this and that Charlotte, but when her career is done, when her Hall of Fame career is done, that number is going to be somewhere, 7, 8, 9 wins area, and I don't say untouchable, but
for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, for a while.
And then they got on the bottom Naomi. I don't know if Naomi's going to have Nia Jax. She's looking to get on this list. The Iconics, I don't know. Ronda Rousey, I don't know. But those are the guys. Looks like Nia Jax is going to be the only one that's looking to join the 2-win club here.
Right. Well, Al, I think that's all the stats that we have. But
I feel like we missed a couple here, Rye. Do we have the most wins all time? I thought maybe you were ending with this. I know we did singles competition. We do the most wins.
Tell you what, I'm going to put this one back up and I'll go check. Is there anything else you want to say about that?
No, that's most. There we go. How about this one? I don't think we touched on this one. I don't think we did one. I think we missed this one. I think we went right to the singles competition. So I figured we just save it for the end.
All right. Well,
the most overall wins. Like, this is both singles competition and team competition. The Undertaker, again at 25, just to shoot off how great he's done. The Triple H, all he does is bury people. John Cena just never lost, and they're not even close. And it was just, Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, Kane with 8. That's fun to see Kane paired with Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart in that category. Edge is looking to join the 8-win club too. Seth Rollins again, sneaky at 6. Randy Orton with 6 as well. It's taking, him and Shawn. They seem to lose more than they win, so it's almost like a law of averages. They'll eventually, Randy maybe will get to 7 or 8 eventually. But yeah, those are the wins, the winningest all time. And
I guess the
consecutive wins. I don't think we did this one either. And this was the end all be all. This is the streak. The Undertaker at 21. And I've mentioned this on numerous occasions. Nobody gets more than 4, with the exception of 3 people. And the Undertaker nailed it at 21. And Edge and Daniel Bryan, they got to 5. And it was just like no one's done anything more than that. Edge actually started off 5-0. Like I said, Christian piggybacked him to 2 wins at 16 and 17, but then he went on to, he beat Booker T. He won the Money in the Bank ladder match at 21. He beat Mick Foley at 22, and then that came to an end when he got carted off on a stretcher after Jeff Hardy dropped the leg on him through a ladder in the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 23. So that's when his streak stopped. Daniel Bryan's was recent. When he actually returned to WrestleMania and teamed with Shane McMahon, he was on a 4-match win streak. They won at 29. He won 2 matches at 30, and then he won the ladder match at 31. So he was coming in hot with a 4-match win streak, and they won. So that put him at 5, only to have it snapped by Kofi Kingston the next year in the WWE Championship match there. But the guys I mentioned before in other shows, the Big Boss Man, Earthquake, just random guys with 4 wins. Owen Hart rattled off a 4-match win streak. Seth Rollins, his 4-match win streak was snapped last year by Kevin Owens. So he was riding high with that one. So, but the fun thing is, if you see the asterisks, a little bit before I get to Rob Van Dam, Randy Savage had a 4-match win streak, and he did it all in one WrestleMania. The tournament at WrestleMania 4. He lost at WrestleMania 3 in that amazing match to Ricky Steamboat, and then he lost at WrestleMania 5 to Hulk Hogan. So that 4-match win streak he did in one shot. And then said the only active wrestler right now, Rob Van Dam, is 4-0 at WrestleMania. So I don't know if he'll come back for one more match just to screw himself over with the statistic and get those asterisks off him. Maybe he gets a win. Maybe he joins the 5. So, but he's the only one. John Cena, very impressive. He did it twice, but even John Cena couldn't get past 4.
Man, well, there you go again. The Undertaker, untouchable,
unbelievable,
untouchable. Did we get them all now?
I think we got them all. Now, right? So I'm sorry. I figured you were just saving because those are the 2 big things at the end with the Undertaker. So actually, I like how that worked out. But I guess we were talking about it, and I haven't gotten you with trivia in a while, and I was kind of mulling over some things one night, and there was a topic that kind of interested me, and I kind of want to quiz you on it. So, I think for would you like to do trivia right now?
Well, I've got nothing else. I got nowhere else to be. So.
All right, then let's. All right, Ryan Joy, you know the rules. I would hope you do because you were the one that made them. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. I believe you used the phrase simple majority. You get the simple majority if you bat over 500. You get the Goldberg or the Oscar. It is WrestleMania season, so if you bat like Bob Uecker in the 100s or the 200s area, you're going to get the Hawkins. So are you ready?
I'm sitting comfortably. Actually, now I'm sitting comfortably.
There you go. Let's show the Hulkamania show. Here we go. Your category is WrestleMania triple threat matches.
All right. Trying to think if I can think of one.
There's been more than one. Do you know how many there's been?
What's up?
Do you know how many there've been?
No. Is that the first?
I don't either. I didn't add them up. So that's not your first question. So
Okay.
your first question was, what was the first? What was the first ever triple threat match in WrestleMania history?
I get multiple choice?
I can give you hints. I think the multiple choice kind of gives it away. I can give you hints. I can give you the Attitude Era.
Oh, let's see. Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, and Rob Van Dam.
That was that match never happened. I like your imagination. That's great.
Oh yeah, I just tried to come up with something.
Yeah, like I say on the daily, I say the Chris Benoit was the third guy in the Jericho and Angle match, but that was not the first. The first one ever was at WrestleMania 15. How about that for your hint? WrestleMania 15.
Nope, I still don't know what it is.
All right, it was for the Hardcore Championship. It was the curtain jerk of the show, and it was Hardcore Holly and Al Snow challenging the Hardcore Champion Billy Gunn.
Wow.
Which was weird because the Outlaws were champions walking into that, but I feel like they had the belts backward. Road Dogg was always the hardcore guy, but he was the Intercontinental Champion. And Billy was always the IC. But yeah, so they kind of flip-flopped the Outlaws on that one. So it was Billy Gunn, Hardcore Holly, and Al Snow.
Okay.
So with that match, there has only been one other match, triple threat match, to curtain jerk a WrestleMania. There have been two all-time. That was one of them. What was the other? And your hint was, I just recently mentioned it. And I didn't say it was a triple threat when I mentioned it because I didn't want to give away my trivia answer. But
can you tell me which WrestleMania?
34.
Okay, I still don't know. 35, 34.
Yeah, the opening match at WrestleMania 34 was the second triple threat match to ever kick off a WrestleMania.
Okay. Oh, I have no clue. No idea.
Okay, so when I mentioned it during this graphic with The Miz. The Miz walked in as Intercontinental Champion. This would have been, if he would have won that match, he would have been in second place all time, breaking this tie.
Versus Seth Rollins and Zack Ryder?
Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins ended up winning that match. All right. Well, I guess these are kind of tough. I thought these were a little easier. Yeah. All right. So there were going from the curtain jerk to the main event.
Okay.
There have been 3 triple threat matches to main event WrestleMania.
Okay.
The first one was Daniel Bryan beating Randy Orton and Batista at 30. The most recent one was at WrestleMania 35 when Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch did it. What was the one in the middle? And your hint is that you mentioned this earlier in this show.
Okay. So, I did.
You did. And let's see if I can jog your memory here. It was with this graphic.
Oh. So, Lesnar, Rollins.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who he stole it from. Roman?
There you go. That's it.
Okay, I got one.
Match. That's it. WrestleMania 31. Seth Rollins, Money in the Bank cash-in, made that a triple threat match. That was the third one that was missing.
All right.
Okay, so I just mentioned in the last question the women's triple threat match between Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. That main event. How many women's triple threat matches have there been in history? There's one. So your multiple choices are 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. I think I'm going to say 1.
There have been 4.
No. Where are the other ones?
Okay, so the one that you talked about with John Smith at WrestleMania 18, you kind of skipped over it because it was a bathroom break match in between Rock and Hogan and then Hunter and Jericho. So you had Trish, Jazz, and
right.
Lita.
Yep.
And one of my favorite made my WrestleMania top 30 was Trish, Jazz, and Victoria. That's 2.
Yep.
And then the women's evolution match at WrestleMania 32 that it retired the Divas Championship. It started up the women's championship.
Right, it
It was
triple.
Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha.
Yeah, I would have guessed 2 had I thought about that for a few more seconds.
Okay.
That one.
And then the last one, Rye, out of all the triple threat matches, there's probably been about between 20 and 25. There's been a lot. Only one of them was non-title. The match was a blow-up between a 3-person faction. What was the faction?
Oh, boy.
WrestleMania, it's either 27 or 28. My memory, it's like that little foggy area for me. But it was at one of those 2. Let me say 27.
The Shield, Roman, Ambrose, and Rollins.
No, they never blew up. And they actually probably weren't in WWE at that time. Legacy.
What was it?
Legacy.
Okay. Yeah.
Randy Orton, Ted DiBiase, and Cody Rhodes all fight each other. So unfortunately, Ryan, I guess these were tough questions. I apologize for that. But here, say it.
Yeah. Well, I tried not to deliberate too long.
No, you don't. We were just about to hit the hour mark, so I think people want to get about their day. Get excited for SmackDown tonight. Get excited for the EWP special tomorrow. But we'll let you get into all of that. It
is tonight on SmackDown's go home show for WrestleMania. So everybody enjoy it. It's a great week. You probably saw some more WrestleMania specials on this show earlier in the week. This was the last one before the big shows. So I'm going to be there in person at WrestleMania 37 for both nights. Really looking forward to that. So a couple of things before we get out of here. I want to tell people about a new shirt called Bell Time Club. It's $20. It's the same deal as everything else. Actually, this one's $22. I got to update the graphic. But it's still a steal of a deal. It already comes in the super soft style with no upcharge. All sizes are the same price. You get in a bunch of different colors. I think 3. I didn't mention. So it's because it's the white font, so you need to have the dark shirt to go over it. So, but anyway, Bell Time Club, fun shirt. You can see it's got the little bell in the middle. It's got the clocks. For Minutes to Bell Time fans, Bell Time Club shirt. So
I want one of those. I'm going to order one of those.
All right, we have a customer.
Yeah, let's put it right on with my Gorilla Slam shirt. I love the Gorilla Press Slam shirt that you got me. I think I wore that during WrestleMania 6, and I forgot to promote it for the Warrior.
All right. Well, also join Joey Jarzanka, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca on Friday nights for the Primetime Rundown. They take you through the world of sports. The show kicks off at 6 p.m. on the Eastern Observer. Then the Essential Wrestling Podcast comes out every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. Al is the host. I'm there usually. John Smith is there, John DeConnie, Gary Mahaffey. We take you through a whole week of updates in the world of wrestling. I will say WrestleMania week is getting a little crazy. So
yeah, I just want to bring to everyone's attention. This Tuesday's show will be a 5 o'clock start. We're going to have so much to go over. 2 nights of TakeOver. 2 huge nights of WrestleMania. We got Impact and their big balls. They're throwing a pay-per-view in there as well. And I guess if Dynamite does anything productive, I mean, I don't know. That's a good question whether or not AEW actually tried to counterbook TakeOver in their last night on a Wednesday night war slot. But we're going on an hour early. We'll probably extend the extra hour. We'll probably still go to around the 7:45, 8 o'clock area to get you ready for NXT that night. But we are starting at 5 p.m. this Tuesday coming up.
Absolutely. And then most importantly, we've mentioned it a few times, but tomorrow is the WrestleMania special, EWP's WrestleMania special. Al will be hosting it with John Smith and John DeConnie. So before you watch Hardcore Justice and WrestleMania Night 1, tune into the Essential Wrestling Podcast WrestleMania special at 12 noon. We just did all the stats, so that's out of the way. These guys are going to tell you who they think will win WrestleMania matches. Al, anything else you want to say on the WrestleMania special?
No, man, it's going to be exciting. Myself, John DeConnie, John Smith, the three of us. There's going to be a whole lot of handsome on the screen, and we're going to be ready to roll. We're going to go through all however many matches there are. We're excited. Like I said, we did the deep dive today. We wanted to get this out of the way in its own special, so we're not wasting time tomorrow. We're going to roll right through it. We're going to have a lot of fun. Definitely be done before Hardcore Justice starts. Give Tommy Dreamer his respect for booking that show, and then we're going to go right into WrestleMania. So it's going to be it's already been a great week. I'm assuming it's already been a great week with Dynamite on Wednesday and TakeOver. Get excited. I'm excited. I'm not going to quote Bob Costas.
I got one question for you here before we get out of here, though.
There's a morning show. I'm not going to say.
Does Moss become a champion at WrestleMania in his first real match?
You know, you got to think about it. Guys who've made their debuts, their wrestling debuts over the years at WrestleMania. There's a chance. Fandango sticks out at the top of my head right now. He made his wrestling debut, his WWE in-ring debut too. He scored the win over Jericho, so it's not like
it's not unheard of.
All right, so it looks like we're just flying with me right now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining the Daily Wrestling News Show. For Ryan Joy, who just booted himself off the screen. My name is Al. All right, I just closed you, Ryan. You can hit that broadcast. We're good.
No, I'll edit that in post. Okay.
I'm more concerned with the. I got to look up the histories of celebrity appearances at WrestleMania. I know they have a pretty decent record too, and I need the Miz to put down Bad Bunny in the worst possible way. I'm not going to be able to live with this if Bunny gets the win at Mania. I'm not going to be happy.
All right. Well, that has been our show. Thank you, guys. Let me play the outro. Have a good WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, WrestleMania.